Hello. 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 That is really loud. Sorry about that. Hello. 3-0. It's been another week. I believe we're on week 6 of the season.
Yeah.
7th show. 3-0. You know our names. I'm not even going to tell you anymore. Maybe I'll tell you again next week. And as I take us out on the volume, another interesting week. What would you call it, a week of fireworks?
There's some big time fireworks.
I would say some big time fireworks. Before we get into football, I'm rocking a couple things. Big shout out to the Chicago Cubs.
Advancing to the next round.
Yeah, I actually, that was so late for me.
Did you watch it or you fell asleep?
I fell asleep when in the comeback, which hurts, admittedly.
You blew it.
I did not know it in that case. I absolutely blew it. But so proud of those guys, and I feel like
I think they have a great shot.
I just feel like this is. I feel like this is just like they have that winning aura about them.
Yeah.
Now. They needed to shut
They
down
have
the
right energy about them.
Right, that swag is fully there. Joe Madden, I don't think there's any manager like him.
Who are they running into next round? I really have not paid attention to baseball.
Yes, so I believe it would be the winner of tonight's game, folks.
Nationals. Who the hell are the Nationals playing?
And the Dodgers.
The Dodgers. It was game 5, right? Scherzer.
That's right.
Kershaw pitching this one, or Kershaw go earlier?
Wow. Let me check for you guys. So sorry, I should have that ready for you. It's 4-1 Dodgers, top 7. And the starting pitchers of the game were. I hate this new layout. I really gotta say.
What is that? Hit the box score.
Yeah. Where's the box score? Where? This is pathetic. Where is it?
Who did this?
Okay, well, either way, listen.
We'll find out eventually.
So Dodgers are probably going to win, and it'll be Cubs-Dodgers, which is a nice rivalry there in and of itself. Obviously, Dodger Stadium is disgusting. Wrigley is beautiful. I went to both this summer, so part of a great summer for me. And a shout-out to the beginning of hockey season.
Hockey starting, yeah.
Boys in Blue got a big win over the Schlong Islanders, 5-3.
Good.
So what Eric and I will do is I got to do a little prep work myself. Let's see how this team's shaking out. What are they looking like? What are our expectations? I know we got some avid hockey listeners on the line, but we're here to talk football.
Yes, football.
And this week is a different one for us because we don't have a guest. We wanted to give an extra focus on this week's matchups and specifically the players to target for this week, maybe the players to slide along on your bench. And then let's look at the rest of the season, Alex. I think we're at a pivotal point in the season, and I think you would agree where it might be time to make a decision on someone. What's their outlook at this point?
Yeah.
And we have some critical players that you may have drafted, you may have picked up, which at this point could be the make or break of your season.
A lot of interesting guys to talk about. So we'll do that. And then we'll run through the individual matchups, give you our picks against the spread. And then this episode, hopefully without the guest, we'll be able to get into a little more detail.
Yes, that's
break
the goal
down some
tonight.
matchups, give you some individual players that we like in each matchup.
So let's go right into it. First of all, how you doing? I haven't seen you in a week.
I'm doing okay. My fantasy teams, I had a nice week. Hank Fraley, I'm gone. I think that ship has sailed. But Mansion, I'm looking strong. I feel confident. I won a few bucks on DraftKings. Sammy Coates, thank you.
Yeah, you really killed that.
And then,
you knew it.
I was so excited. Dude, I was watching the Jets, and I'm conflicted, obviously, because I want the Jets to win, but I know that they're not in my heart.
Right.
So really, I'm just rooting for Sammy Coates to catch a couple bombs, and sure enough, first pass of the game, 77 down the sideline.
That's
right. It was just electric.
And it could have been even a bigger game.
Could have been more. He had
dropped.
It seemed like 5 drops.
That's
he could have had 4 touchdowns.
Including a dropped 1-yard touchdown.
1-yard touchdown. I know there were so many. He left a lot on the table, but let's just get into him right now. I think
go into it. That's gonna be the first player off the board of our guys who we think are
Sammy Coates, owned in all leagues at this point.
Okay.
I would think.
Right. I'll give myself a little bit of pain there. I kind of blew it, if you will. Maybe not so much in the beginning. I think we both kind of wrote him off when we said, "What the heck are you guys doing? It's Eli Rogers. It's Marcus Wheaton, if anything."
Yeah, well, he wasn't looking good at preseason. He was not.
And to be fair, Eli Rogers got hurt with a turf toe immediately.
Mm-hmm.
Now he can step back into a role and actually be the slot guy because Marcus Wheaton's a disaster. I think he's done.
I think Wheaton's gotten enough shots over the years that he's
right. Yeah. So I think Rogers slides back in that slot role. He could be useful in super deep leagues, but the reality is it's Brown, it's Coates, and it's Jesse James, and obviously Le'Veon Bell in a oh my God, if there was a DraftKings play for this week. It's Le'Veon Bell against the Miami Dolphins.
Yeah.
I would be shocked if he did not go over 200 total yards and a couple scores. The Dolphins are they the worst team at this point in the league?
The worst in the league? I mean, they're pretty freaking horrendous.
So bad.
We'll see. Foster is apparently coming back this week.
Okay. A lot of guys coming back this week.
Yeah.
Jonathan Stewart. Jamal Charles.
We'll get into him.
Douglas Martin.
Yeah, but I don't know. Miami, they played decently week 1 when they had Foster in the lineup. We'll see if he brings anything back.
But Tannehill looks like he's taking 12 step backs for everything.
He's taking sacks still.
Right.
Right. Defense really can't stop anybody because the offense can't hold on to the ball. It's all related.
Yes.
So yeah, Miami definitely one of the worst.
Okay, so Sammy Coates. I mean, what are your thoughts? You're
Sammy
high on him
Coates.
at this point.
I am pretty high on him. We've seen, I think every game on the year he's got a 40-yard catch or longer.
Absolutely.
His targets have been going up. Last week he saw 11 targets. It was, it was the Jets secondary. They're terrible. We know that.
Yes. Giving up.
Despite the drops that we mentioned previously, it was good to see Ben Roethlisberger kept feeding him.
Yeah.
Kept throwing him the ball. So I think it's good to see. His upside for me is what Martavis Bryant was doing.
Yeah.
We saw Martavis clearly emerge like this as well.
And he can get fed, and Brown can get fed, and Bell can still get fed.
And as far as matchups go, like individual matchups week to week, all the focus is going to be on Brown and Le'Veon.
But who still somehow find a way. He's just matchup proof. Like, Julio Jones is not matchup proof. You saw he got stopped by the Broncos. Brown is I think, exclusively matchup proof.
So for me, Coates' ceiling, high end.
WR2?
I want to say high end WR2.
Okay.
But he's he could be boom or bust, especially with the home and away splits.
Let's see what he does. I would start him with confidence this week, but I think
they're playing Miami this week. I would feel good about starting him again.
Yeah.
Yes.
Yeah, he's going to see a lot of. Oh my God! I think now the Howard kid is hurt. Maxwell is going to try and defend Brown, but that's not going to go well.
And Pittsburgh's just going to be on the offense is going to be on the field a lot. They're 7.5 point favorites in Miami.
Right.
I think they put up another 30 spot with relative ease.
Okay.
So that's my take on Sammy Coates.
Let me pause there on the Steelers. What do you at this point in the season? You see the success that Roethlisberger has had. And we got a couple listeners who have said, "Oh, how Big Ben looks great now."
Yeah.
Terrible draft round pick. And looking back in hindsight, now that we have the hindsight, is it a bad pick in the 5th round? I still think it was. I mean, he's obviously excellent.
For me, it depends how you want to build your team. Like for me, I've had success streaming QBs all year. I think there's a good possibility for you to find a QB every week, whether it's 12 team or 14 team, that can give you 250 yards and 2 touchdowns every week. Right. And that's, for me at least, that's like the benchmark. Yeah. That'll give you 20 points.
Mm-hmm.
And out of your quarterback, I think 20 points is where you want to be, or better.
Yeah, it's not a bad pick because he didn't blow it, obviously.
Right.
But the fact remains is I got C.J. Anderson just pops in the end zone.
All right.
Wow.
C.J.
So that there's a flag though could be holding folks, but he needed that. Oh, that's coming back. That's coming back. Sorry, false alarm.
False alarm.
Okay,
CJ.
Sorry,
still,
CJ.
Looking on the downside.
So that's a dud for this week, but that was a nice run. So, yeah, my point is right. A Derek Carr, a Matt Ryan, all these guys came right off the wire. Or last round picks. If you have that guy plus a 5th round pick receiver that you hopefully hit on, your team's better than if it's just Ben Roethlisberger. But
that's what I'm saying. I mean, you could have picked up a Matt Ryan, a Derek Carr, a Brian Hoyer the past 2 weeks has been fantastic.
Top 3 quarterback in the past 3 weeks.
I mean, you're happy if you have Roethlisberger.
Yes.
But you're not kicking yourself if you don't.
Exactly. Okay, well said. Who's our next? Oh, that's a good one.
You want to get into? Let's do Lamar.
Yeah. So, folks, Lamar obviously has not been what you guys and what I have paid for. He's averaging 3.6 yards a carry. I don't think he's caught quite as many balls as we all expected, as Foster did when he was in that workhorse role. Mm-hmm. And he has not gotten in the end zone in the 2016 season. However,
worrisome.
The touches are outrageous. He's averaging well above 20 touches a game.
Mm-hmm.
And
except for
now
last game.
He gets the Colts.
Right.
Yes, good point. The Minnesota, but that was Minnesota.
Minnesota's a wash.
It was totally to be expected.
Ronnie, if you're watching, Minnesota. Told you best defense in the
league. Yes, Minnesota defense does not let up this many points to the Chargers.
No.
The Broncos defense does.
Broncos do.
Because they can be had on the ground.
Well, the Broncos offense has been
oh my God, they just
horrendous this game. I think they just gave the ball back again to the Chargers.
They just did.
But anyway, so Lamar Miller for me. This week, he's got it. He has to.
If there was ever a week, folks.
Points for concern. Houston offensive line, I believe, through this past week, are ranked 30th out of 32 teams.
That would make
sense.
Horrendous
line play.
That would absolutely make
sense. I'm not worried about the touches going down. I would like to see him catch more passes, especially help you out in PPR.
I would too.
Touchdowns, there's got to be positive regression coming, and matchups for the rest of the way look good. He had some daunting matchups 4 out of the first 5 games.
Absolutely correct. And the Colts have given up a touchdown or 100 yards for something
Colts can be had
15 consecutive games. It's an absurd stat.
They've been that way forever.
Right. They're not getting any better on defense. So if there was ever a game to start with confidence, or you want to make a late trade for this guy and try and buy low, this week is the week.
Last call.
I'm telling you with certainty, you're gonna see 100+ yards this game, and he's gonna hit pay dirt at least once.
You're hoping.
Booking.
Well, you're hoping.
That's my booking.
Let's get into the 2 backs in our Thursday night game here.
Sure.
We'll go C.J. Anderson first because I think he's a little bit tougher.
Yes.
To call here. C.J. Anderson, rest of the season.
Sure.
How do you like him?
Well, I look at 2 things. I look at the unpredictability of this offense, which has not shown up every game. Sent me in a nice first game, but now it's looking a little shaky. Inconsistent offense. Okay. And I look at the fact that I don't know how many touches he had tonight, but this Devontae Booker kid, his snap
count is way up.
Have been growing
way up
heavily.
Yes.
Now, a hold prevents him from getting the end zone. Maybe we're not having this conversation, but we were so high on him after that first game. He
really against Carolina.
He was the focal point of that.
I think Carolina, as we know now, isn't that formidable.
A droppable defense, not an elite defense by any means. They can be had through the air. They can be had on the ground.
And I think the back end has hurt the play up front as well.
Right.
It's a given.
So then come to this. Then is he a buy low for you?
CJ?
Yes. Or is he a hold? Or is he a I don't own him and I don't.
I mean, if I own him, I'm definitely holding.
Okay.
I'm not selling now. No way. I think the Broncos will be in enough situations where they will use him 15 touches. That'll be his baseline, I would say. They should be in better game script scenarios than they are tonight.
Yeah.
Moving forward.
Yep.
But yeah, obviously Booker is worrisome. Anderson might be a guy where I'm waiting for a big game and
then try and move him.
Seeing what I could get for him.
and tonight was not the night.
No.
And as we were kind of discussing pre-show, Chargers, once considered a matchup to be taken advantage of. They certainly were through the air anyway last week by the Raiders, but not as bad of defense as we thought.
No, I think the Chargers have a pretty underrated defense. They've quietly been pretty good against the run.
Right.
They got their first-round pick Bosa back last week. He had 2 sacks. He's been playing well against the run.
Yeah, and that's against a great Raiders offensive line.
Yeah, Raiders have one of the better offensive lines.
Top rated in pass protection.
Okay.
So that's how much.
So I think he definitely helps. They have injuries on the back end. Verrett, their top corner, is out for the year. They should be getting Brandon Flowers, their slot cornerback, soon. So they're not a complete pushover like I think the impression is from the public. But anyway, let's get into Melvin Gordon.
Yeah.
I think a lot of the talk about Melvin Gordon is, he's 3-point whatever yards carry. He stinks, touchdown dependent.
Yep.
Which, to a degree, I think is true.
Right.
A lot of his production has come from the touchdowns. I think he has a score in every single week, except for tonight. But we were talking before, the line play has been terrible.
That's right.
It has been terrible. I think they're still a little banged up. Hopefully they get healthy along the line. But Melvin Gordon himself is a good rusher, in my eyes at least. Yeah, I think he's getting hit in the backfield a lot. Yeah. He's getting most of his yards after contact. I don't think there's any reason to falter on him. I think he's still a solid, at least a back-end RB1.
Sure. Yeah, I don't see how you can disagree at this point, especially with how really terrible the position is this year.
Yeah.
I mean, you got 4 really top guys at the top between DeMarco, McCoy, Bell, and
Zeke,
and David Johnson and Zeke.
Right.
And then after that, it's very thin.
Right.
In terms of really reliable guys. So, yeah, I think Melvin's is easily a solid RB1. And I expect the same offense to continue. Philip Rivers is a good player, period.
It's a
great
offense.
Team.
Rivers moves the ball. They have receivers.
He's the only back there. I don't see why he can't.
They've been moving the ball all night against Denver here.
Yeah.
So I don't worry about Melvin Gordon.
No.
Despite the efficiency, or the low efficiency.
Yeah, I mean,
and there's nobody to take touches away from him either.
Exactly. That's the thing. The volume's going to continue being there. If it's a guy you can get your hands on via trade, someone thinks, no, I expect the regression, go for it. I have no problem with that anymore. I take back all that pre-draft crap-analysis, if you will, on him.
Let's move into a running back coming back this week, or they're saying he's almost all the way back. Jamal Charles. Where do you see him? I think there was a report today that said they're going to sprinkle him in.
Right.
So he's not coming back to the full workload.
No, I don't think so. He got 10 snaps before the bye. I would probably expect that to be up to maybe 25, 30.
Yeah.
With 5 to 7 touches sprinkled in. Again, it's a 32-year-old coming back from his second ACL tear, and they have a very formidable running back core behind him. There is literally no reason to drop him.
They play Oakland this week.
Yes. Well, and then the hope is for you is that he literally, one of those runs, he just pops off.
Right.
Because that is, F me. We're 4-1, but that defense is going to come back to bite us.
Let's throw this out. You have Charles and Ware this week. Who are you playing?
I'm starting Ware. Yeah.
I think it's a safer play.
It is. It absolutely is.
By a mile.
By a mile.
Okay.
But what do you think? Do you trade
rest of the
for him?
season?
Yeah. Is he a target for you?
If I can get Charles at flex value,
okay, so
I think I'd trade for him. But I don't think any owner that's been holding on to Charles for this long is going to give him.
They want something.
That's the thing. Yeah,
it's a second-round pick.
And I don't know if I'd give up in RB2 type. Like I would not.
Would you give up Ryan Matthews?
Or I was going to say Isaiah Crowell.
No.
Crowell definitely not.
No
Ryan Matthews?
Ryan Matthews is tough because a lot of people are still down on him.
Yes. I guess it would depend on the rest of how my roster is looking.
Right.
But if I needed Like, to me, Ryan Matthews doesn't have a great ceiling. You know what I mean?
No,
but I think
you need a plunge from him.
But Charles definitely does. If he can come back and even just 50% of the backfield touches. We've seen what he can do with just 12 to 15 touches a game.
Right.
He can still be very explosive and score.
I think it's tough with him.
I think it really is tough until you see.
I gotta see something.
Yeah, I know.
I mean, this could be another 2-3 weeks that he's like really dragged the.
And by that time, your team might be out of it.
Right.
You might.
Yeah. If this was a pick that you made, it's probably has cost you your season. To be honest, I know Manchin and Hank Fraley, both of those teams, a little bit of bad luck in there, but I think Verdi is below 500, probably 2-3. I'm Taz is 1-4.
Yeah.
Just
because you have to invest a second round pick.
It's a second round pick. It's a big
deal.
Complete
wash.
Exactly.
And it's a roster. It's not even like the guy got injured and put on IR. You could drop him. You've had to keep him for this amount of time, and that kills you. All right, let's move to Odell.
Yeah.
A lot of people worried about him.
I'm very concerned.
As would I be if I owned him.
I'm utterly concerned because I think the Giants' offense is not good.
It's
not good might even be an understatement.
Eli looks bad.
Eli is droppable for me.
Oh, if you have Eli as your quarterback,
should have been gone years ago.
I'm streaming quarterback. Yeah. No. Here's my one thing with Odell where. And I think I said this earlier with, I'm not sure. Okay. But Odell Beckham, they have Rashad Jennings coming back from injury.
Right.
They've had very limited success on the ground so far.
They've certainly tried to be successful.
They've tried.
Do you recall that Vikings game? First down.
Nobody's running the ball. Nobody's running the ball.
Was a running attempt.
I get. Nobody's running the ball against the Vikings. So the only thing I can really point to that says, all right, this offense can turn around, is if they find a little more balance.
Yeah.
Rashad Jennings comes back in and just gives you something, some consistency, some work on the ground. Because I don't think the line has been terrible. They just haven't been able to get anything going on the ground.
Right.
I don't know. Darkwa is a bleh. They lost Vereen.
Perkins was a non-factor. Well, the only one who's got any
Bobby Rainey's been all right.
I would love him as a second flex.
I would be okay playing him second
6
flex.
catches a game.
He kind of slid right into that Vereen role.
He did, and I think I've seen better production from him in this limited time than I've ever seen from Vereen in like consistent bursts.
Yeah.
Vereen, outside of a game or two, has mostly been a bust for me as a Giant.
It's really surprising to see the Giants.
This is incredible. I mean, Odell, if you recall, he was the same thing. He was a touchdown or 100 yards every week.
He was,
And now this is week 6, and he just gets into the end zone for the first time last week to basically save his day.
Yeah. Do you make anything of the pouting, the antics, the blah blah blah? He's not having fun anymore.
Most people are saying, I don't want this kid on my team. If you're going to act like that, it's a distraction, this and that.
I think it's totally overblown.
It's way overblown.
I think
this is the classic New York media. This is ESPN. Cannot get out of their own way. They love it. They love it. And it's honestly, I think it's affecting his play. That's the problem. And I think it actually does affect his play. But maybe now the Giants make a concerted effort to get him involved early and often. I think that's probably the big difference for him is he's been a non-factor in the first half.
I feel like we haven't seen him hit any of those deep shots this year.
That is absolutely correct.
You know, I felt like he was doing
it seemed like when he was scoring, it was the 30-yard post across the middle, and he would just blow by 2 defenders would collapse and it was done.
Yeah.
Those plays are not hitting yet. So I don't know. I think the only place it can go from here is up. I mean, he hasn't totally killed you, but like, I don't know. Where do you value him? Is he right now? He's kind of a top end wide receiver 2. Can you think of 10 wide receivers better than him or 12? It's tough.
Yeah, I might be able to actually.
Yeah,
I might.
Yeah,
I might. But if you're an owner, unless somebody's still willing to give you like draft day value on him, I think you gotta stay pat.
I'm holding. I'm not letting someone kind of just come in there for a low ball.
All right. So the last group that we'll go into our rest of our season talk with are the Cardinals receivers.
Right.
Always an interesting bunch.
Right.
To talk about. For you, who's your top guy rest of the season?
Oh, well.
Because you know mine is still.
Yeah. So for the sake of argument, I'm going to go with Jonathan Brown.
Okay.
As my top guy. I think outside of this week, I think Palmer is waiver fodder. Mm-hmm. I think he's that bad.
Yeah.
But I think he has a good matchup this week. He could pop off. And I know you like Fitz.
I like Fitz for the consistency in the floor. But this week, John Brown is my Sammy Coates pick from last week.
Okay.
They're playing the Jets.
Oh, that's...
John Brown's the deep guy.
Yeah.
He's popping off a 60-yard touchdown.
Michael Floyd
is what
a disaster, though.
He's bad.
What a disaster.
John Brown might be taking over that role there.
Might be.
I mean, he's the fourth receiving option already. David Johnson's getting more looks than Michael Floyd.
Correct. Yeah.
Floyd put up a donut last week.
He put up a donut, right? For Nick Mariano against me. I had another Toyota
blowout
of the week. Yeah,
love those.
So that was satisfying.
Yeah, Palmer's going to be a drop because he's got the Jets this week and then he's got Seattle next week, and nobody's going to start.
And that's a done.
Seattle, so that's a done. All right, so let's move into our matchups. We can have a nice talk about
beautiful
the matchups here.
And before we get into Sunday, this week, tonight's matchup, I think, what was the final score? I think the Broncos ended up getting in the end zone there. It was probably 21-10, I want to say.
I'm not sure. Let's see. I have 21-13.
Oh, wow.
Still with 30 seconds left.
Okay. So Broncos are getting in some garbage time points, although I think it was, to the Fowler kid, so it was completely useless for fantasy owners.
Nobody owned that guy.
Great.
Who scored?
So the Broncos were actually favored at the Chargers.
Yeah. Broncos will go for an onside kick. They just kicked a field goal.
Okay.
So they'll go for the onside.
Okay.
Hoping to recover because it is an 8-point game.
Yes.
So we'll see.
So you would have thought the Broncos basically getting shown up by these Falcons, whose rankings really skyrocket at this point. They're looking legit.
Yes.
They lose, you think they're going to come in here and beat the Chargers down. The Chargers have lost a lot of bad games, but no, they come out strong.
I think, people are like, oh, the Chargers have lost all these games, these close games. They're terrible. They're stupid. They've lost 4 games by a combined 14 points.
That's a good stat.
They are. I believe that they're a good team. I think they're young and they just got unlucky closing out these games. The fumbles from Gordon killed them.
Yeah.
Just stupid mistakes at the end of games, but they are a good team. You can't write them off.
No, certainly, and this is a huge division win. And if you pick that game, which I didn't have to, thank God, because I probably would have gone with the Broncos. But now I think
short week.
Yeah.
These away teams on Thursday night. Yeah. It's hard to pick them.
This is absolutely been the trend. That's for sure.
Right.
So the first game is kind of boring. It's your Niners, which are basically unwatchable at this point. Colin Kaepernick to start. They're at the Bills, who are favored by 8. By 8.
It's a lot. Bills have. When's the last time the Bills have been favored by 8?
Yes.
But they've won 3 in a row. They're hot. This is a game. You talk about individual players that I love. I think all the Bills have plus matchups.
Right.
McCoy is gonna run wild. I think. If you're streaming, I wouldn't mind Tyrod Taylor.
Okay.
And even if you have Robert Woods, I think he's a decent play for 7-8 catches, something like that.
Last week, so I need that.
I think he can do that.
Okay.
And if you're streaming tight ends, I think Charles Clay might be an okay play here.
Charles Clay really started to get
involved. He'll give you 5-6 catches, something like that.
You're hurting at tight end because of the slow starts. A lot of these guys. Charles Clay, sneaky
pickup. He could give you a nice game.
Absolutely.
And on the other side, San Fran, I think Carlos Hyde has played himself into an every week.
Absolutely.
No doubt about it.
Absolutely.
I think he's got 6 touchdowns. Yeah. He's been fantastic.
It's the only thing Chip Kelly has going for him is just trying to.
If anything, maybe Kaepernick sliding in, they run a little bit more read option.
Okay.
That can only help Hyde's rushing efficiency, maybe.
Right.
but I don't think there's any reason to shy away from him. Passing options for San Fran, I would stay away from everybody.
Yeah, I don't think, obviously Curley's been the guy, but he's been Blaine Gabbert's guy because he's been comfortable over the middle. Gabbert, incapable of hitting anyone on the outside.
Yeah.
Basically has done 5 weeks of, there's a second of pressure, tuck and run.
I'm not confident Cap can get the ball to anybody consistently.
Yeah, I could see a scenario where he comes in and he's just, it's like an awakening game for him. It's, he's the anticipation.
The defenses.
I know. Hot, it's, this is such a big
Torrey Smith owner still holding on? Any hope?
Dropped weeks ago.
Okay.
I think he has less than 10 catches.
I feel bad for him at this point because I think he's a decent receiver.
He's wasting his career.
Yeah.
He's wasting his career.
He's got to get out.
So you're going with the Bills?
Yeah, I think I'm going to take the Bills. Bills are too hot. Defense, new quarterback with Kaepernick.
Yeah.
I don't know if San Fran can score more than
14
at points
Buffalo too. They're at
traveling
Buffalo.
Across the country.
Yeah.
Bills are hot. Rex Ryan's hot. McCoy is
Bills.
hot. They're all hot. Bills. The Bills. Who you got next? Jacksonville, Chicago?
Jacksonville, Chicago. Chicago's favored by 2. They've been hot. Jordan Howard has played
phenomenally.
Him and Hoyer, they step in, holy smokes, and they make a star out of Cameron Meredith, who takes over the Kevin White role and does what Kevin White should have done from the start of the season.
This game brings up another rest of season guy we should have brought up, I think. Alshon Jeffrey. Oof. He's a tough one, I think.
He's tough for me because I think we've seen, 3 games now of Hoyer being a top 3 quarterback and Jeffrey not going off, if I recall correctly, in any of those.
No.
Right? It's the
he hasn't scored a touchdown on the year.
Correct.
He's been down on the target ladder.
Mm-hmm.
So right now with Hoyer in, you're hoping for a touchdown if you're playing him.
Yeah.
If you're putting Jeffrey in your lineup.
Sure.
I think he's a wide receiver 3.
Yes.
With Hoyer as a quarterback.
Yeah.
Nothing has said otherwise.
Right. Right, exactly. He'll get their best cornerback. And I believe Cameron Meredith will probably see a lot of Devon House or maybe Eddie
Jacksonville
Royal.
Quietly playing pretty good defense on the year.
As of late.
Coming off the bye.
Yep.
It's in Chicago, but I think Jalen Ramsey, the rookie, has been a standout corner for them. They've been decent, not great. I think they've been about league average against the run.
Yep.
I don't think there are any pushover, and hopefully they figured out some of their offensive problems. I think Jacksonville bounces back and they take this from Chicago.
Okay, that's fair. I would have said, it's tough for me because they're at Soldier, and the book out on them before going into the season early on was they kept getting destroyed in Soldier Field. But as of late, they're starting to really perform there.
I like these guys. I like teams off the bye.
Yeah, no, they're well rested. Everyone's feeling good. I think Allen Robinson has a touchdown this game. His arrow for the last 2 games has been up now, so that's good. I think
he's getting a touchdown. I'm still waiting for that 120-yard game at it. You know what I mean? Because he had 1,400 yards last year. I don't think he's had a 100-yard game, if I'm not mistaken.
Absolutely correct.
He's been a lower yardage guy so far.
Agreed. All right, so I like that. I think you could feel comfortable going Jacksonville there, see if they can squeak that out. Rams at Detroit. Detroit 3-point favorites. They come off a huge victory against the Eagles.
Yeah, they squeaked it out at the end. I picked it. I had the Eagles last week.
I did too, and they probably would have had. I don't even know actually. Would they have had it if Ryan Matthews hadn't blown it? I think they still would. So Ryan Matthews got the ball punched out from him, and then the Lions went back and kicked the field goal 1-1. So I don't think the Eagles would have covered though, which was surprising to me.
Yeah.
So you missed that game
up by 2
because of me. If you had followed my advice, which
I was taking the Eagles too there.
Yeah, that was a tough one. So now you got the Detroit or the Rams rather. I'm so sorry. Did they win last week or they lost?
I'm not sure on the Rams last week. Do you have it on your computer?
Oh, I may.
But while you look that up, matchups here, I think Theo Riddick is still a must-play. He's the only running back
100%.
that I'm starting for Detroit.
Right.
I think Washington's going to be playing, but you can't trust him yet.
Yep.
Marvin Jones, obviously, you're playing. Golden Tate, you're still benching because he hasn't, despite the talk from Cooter.
Right. The Rams, by the way, got blasted by Buffalo, 30-19.
Yes.
They did not
Okay.
cover. So continue that.
Do you trust Stafford?
Do I trust Stafford against the Rams? I think, if anything, the Rams are probably worse through the air than that trying to run it against that front four.
Yeah.
That front seven even. I probably don't trust Stafford as much as I trust Marvin Jones.
No. I don't think I trust Stafford. And if you have Stafford, you're probably streaming in a streamer situation. I think I'd prefer a number of quarterbacks over Stafford this week, despite the fact that he's at home and they're favored.
Right.
I'll look elsewhere.
Because I could see him having the 200-yard game with the one touchdown to Marvin Jones, and then it's 100 of those yards go to Jones and a touchdown.
I think I'd go elsewhere for my QB this week. I would look at like an Alex Smith coming off a bye for Kansas City
against
Oakland
Raiders. He just piled up stats against. We'll talk about.
I could find some other guys that I would prefer, but yeah, I'm not too high. I think. I don't know if anybody really blows up this game. What do you think, Gurley? Gurley is going to blow up here, or what?
The Lions played better against the run last week against the Eagles than we thought. I thought Matthews was really going to go off. Luckily, he did something through the air.
Yeah.
But I think in theory, the Lions are still bad against the run.
Yeah.
But I could still see a situation.
They're nothing to fear. I don't know if they're
right,
bad.
But this line is still so bad. I wouldn't be shocked if Gurley finished with 75 rushing yards, and if they don't end up at the 1 yard line, then he doesn't get a touchdown.
Something to watch with Gurley now too is Benny Cunningham's
He's actually
status.
Cunningham on third.
Well, he's been like the passing down back,
right?
But I don't think he played last week or maybe the week before. Where Gurley's getting more looks in the game, in the passing game, and if he can give you 3, 4, 5 catches, that's helpful. A huge boost to his value.
Right.
Even if he's only giving you 20 yards, those extra points right there,
which up until now have not happened.
Right.
So who are you taking?
Ooh, this is an ugly game. If I'm betting real life money, not Monopoly money, I'm probably staying away from it. But I'll go Detroit, home team.
Yeah.
Beat a good team in Philly last week.
Probably comes out to right there. That was a nice victory, and Matt Stafford is light years better than Case Keenum.
Yeah. Better quarterback.
Let's just
at
go
home.
with that. Okay. Lions, I like that. The Cleveland Browns, they're at Tennessee, and this is probably the most that Tennessee's been favored in the last 9 years. They are they got 7.
I have 7-point favorites here.
That's right. So that's
just a lot.
That's a lot
for a team that plays average defense but runs the ball very well.
Right.
Mariota's had his only good game of the year last week, which I think he might have been the top quarterback. He has 3 touchdowns in the air, and I think he had 1 on the ground too.
Yeah, he was the best quarterback last week.
But I think he threw for less than 200 yards.
Right. Well, it just goes to show you the kind of value he brings.
Okay. Individual matchup that really stands out to me in this game, Delaney Walker.
You like him.
Huge play this week.
Okay.
I think.
Yeah. Browns been against the tight end.
Brown's been terrible against the tight end. I think they're missing a couple linebackers. Walker, great play if you're on DraftKings.
What do you think about him last year? I like him to really, now that he's healthy because the hamstring was bulky, I like him to ascend back to that receiving option. I mean, God, he had 92 catches last year.
And
maybe 90.
After, everybody was high on Taj Sharp after week 1 in the preseason.
Bust. Rashard Matthews is dumb.
Taj might be.
Taj is cuttable. Yeah, and I think he's been cut in both of our leagues, or at least the 12-teamer. So so it's a Walker.
Keep trying to offer me Taj Sharp, like I want him.
Because it's a nice name.
I haven't played fantasy football before. I don't get it. I don't know. He has no value.
He literally.
You can drop him. I will not pick him up.
Correct.
So Taj, all the receivers for Tennessee.
But we like Walker.
Love Walker.
And
DeMarco Murray, obviously.
DeMarco Murray might be. It's probably would be my top running back play of the week.
He might be.
If you're doing fantasy, this game could play out where they don't relent. It's
I don't even know what the quarterback situation is in Cleveland too. They have so many injured quarterbacks. Who's gonna play? Who's throwing the ball? Is he gonna be effective? Is he gonna last the whole game?
It sounds like it's gonna be a gimpy Kessler coming back. Charlie checked down Whitehurst, 34-year-old journeyman. He gets cut.
They cut him.
They rather go with the practice squad guy.
So all right. So the only guy to talk about, I think, for Cleveland. I think if you have Crowell, you're playing.
You start Crowell,
right?
Even though the Titans' defense is coming along,
they are good against the run.
That's right.
They're rated, I think,
they have
top 10 against the run.
Very nice front four.
Crowell, I think you got to play. Terrell Pryor. He's a real question mark for me now. I think
because of the lack of talent at quarterback.
Because of the quarterback situation.
Right.
I know he's going to get targets, but quick thing for you. I don't think he's eclipsed 50 receiving yards all but that one game where he went for like $140 something.
In my face when he was playing the Dolphins.
In your face.
Yes.
The yardage output hasn't been there, so I really don't know what to make of Terrell right now.
Right. That's totally fair. It's hard to imagine a situation where Cody Kessler throws for more than 150 yards.
Right.
And Gary Barnage's arrow is looking up. It's looking like he's the easier target over the middle right there.
What bothers me about him, yes, I agree.
Yeah.
Looks are there, or they've been moving up.
Sure.
Still without a red zone look on the year.
That's not good.
Very concerning.
Yes. But at least, folks, if you held, which in one league I couldn't even, but if you did hold, he's not killing you.
He's not killing you.
He's giving you the 9-10 points, which is fine. So who do you pick? I could see the Titans literally running away with this via DeMarco Murray. The Browns just look bad now. It's a lot of points, but
I think it's 7. 7's a lot for me to give up to 10.
But if they're winning 28-10,
how do they get up 28-10 though?
Because DeMarco Murray's gonna have 2 touchdowns,
right,
and then Delaney Walker's 2 touchdowns.
I'm taking Cleveland to cover for me.
Well, I'm gonna take Pigs
on the
Titans.
back.
Okay.
I because I think both teams want to run the ball here.
Sure. And one of the teams can do it, and one of these teams
play
can't.
Some ball control. I think Cleveland can cover the 7 points.
Well, we disagree on that. We'll see how that comes out, folks.
Fucking Cleveland.
Steelers against Dolphins are favored by 7.5. Okay, I didn't even look at the rest of the games. This is a star pick for me.
That's your star
pick.
This is a no. Pittsburgh,
I went Pittsburgh last week against the Jets. The Jets are a much better team than the Dolphins, and the spread was exactly the same.
Okay.
And the Jets got their monkey.
Are you concerned about the home-away splits for Pittsburgh?
Don't give a hell about the home and away. Okay. This one's gonna get ugly quickly.
I could see that.
This one, first play of the game is gonna be Sammy Coates for 70 yards.
Coates for 70. Okay.
I don't see a world where the Steelers.
Nothing Miami has done in the past 3 weeks has inspired any kind of confidence.
And if you want to stream a defense, I kept the Steelers. How about that? How you like them apples? I had to pick them up last week. I said, F it, I'll keep them.
Roll it again.
I'll keep
them out there again.
Thanks for the 3 interceptions, Ryan Tannehill, and now I'm a little pissed about...
Right. So I think it's pretty obvious you're starting all your Steelers.
All your Steelers.
Not Marcus Whedon.
Not Marcus Whedon. You're starting
Rodgers.
road gun outlaw Jesse James. You're not starting Rodgers.
Okay, you're starting Roethlisberger,
Bell, Brown,
Coates,
and Cowboy Jesse James.
Jesse James, thank you. Okay, on the other side, Miami.
Yeah.
What are we doing with Miami?
I think the only startable play at this point, I'm in my hands for. I have to start Devontae. I have need.
Yeah.
Do I feel great about it? No. Should he have gone off last week? Yes. And he didn't. So that one hurt.
Yeah.
But again, out of pure necessity, if it's like the worst thing that happens to Jarvis Landry is he catches 6 balls for 50 yards. It doesn't kill you.
Right.
I want to go back to those days, though, where he's piling up the 130 again, which was a couple weeks ago. So
I mean, it could happen in this game.
Steelers don't have a
mode.
Right, but they should have been catch-up mode last week, Eric. But that was Thursday night. That's different circumstance. Thursday nights tend to get out of hand quickly.
Ooh, that brings up a good point. Miami with the extra day's rest could come out a little stronger.
Not for me. Not for me.
mine.
Steelers, star pick.
Neither am I.
Book
We're
it.
going Steelers.
Book it. I like the thought, but
Okay.
booking it for me.
You know, I just thought I'd throw you a curveball
Oh
there.
my God!
What do you got next?
Dude, they made this so tough.
Cincy, New England.
The Bengals against the Pats at Foxborough, where they got whooped by the Bills. 8.5 favorites.
8.5 is a weird.
It really
spread.
is. It really is. Why not just make it 7.5? I don't know.
9.
Yeah.
9's a healthier number.
Yeah.
Okay, so where do we go with this one? Let's start on the Cincinnati side of the ball. AJ Green, I like.
You
this
have
week.
to.
Have to like
Out of
it.
pure catcher mode.
And I think the games where Cincinnati has had success, AJ Green has success. They have to realize
That's well
this.
said.
They gotta get him the ball.
Yeah.
Also, sneaky play right here. Maybe not so sneaky. I could be blowing smoke up my butt.
Can I guess?
Guess.
Gionis
Oh
Bernard.
yeah,
Big
baby.
Gionis Bernard.
Hill still banged up.
That's right.
Snap count was down last week. I think that continues. But not only that, but the game script.
Game script.
New England 8.5 point favorites.
Yeah.
Gio is the passing back.
Yeah. And
We've
they're
seen
not
him
good
rack
against
it up.
passing backs.
Right. We've seen him rack it up already. I think earlier he had a 9-catch, 100-yard
Steelers
game.
ripped him up. I benched him by accident. For Eli Rogers, nonetheless. Holy
Right.
smokes.
So I think something similar could play out there. So those are your two plays. You think if you have LaFell, he got garbage time action last week.
Was it 2 touchdowns or 1?
There's 2.
There was 2.
I believe it was 2.
That hurt so
And
bad.
Belichick, known for taking away the offense's number 1 option.
Absolutely.
Could he leave?
Outside of the Houston game, they've been an average defense.
But let me throw this one at you now.
Okay.
Going deeper into the Belichick mind.
Fine.
LaFell, expatriate.
Of course.
Belichick wants to stick it to him.
Does
Just
he?
tell him that you fucking suck without
Is
me,
the
man.
relationship
I
bad?
don't know. I don't know.
Seems like Brandon's a good guy.
But Belichick seems like the kind of guy, once you turn your back on him, you're out.
No, I get it. I get it. It's a catch-up mode flex play for me. You start Green with confidence, and Gio too. We love as a flex play. Possibly RB2, depending. I mean, at this point, he could very well be
LaFell,
RB1.
second flex, I think you could play him.
Yes,
You
I
could play
agree.
him. If you don't have better, you can play him.
Okay, Patriots side of the ball. You saw what happened last week. Angry Tom Brady comes out and does exactly what the world expected. Was it 4 touchdowns or 3? 3 to Marty?
It was a lot.
400 yards and 3 to Marty, something crazy like
He
that?
put in work. And
Whew.
coming back, they were in Cleveland last week.
Sure.
Now you come back to Foxborough.
And all those Brady jerseys
These
are out.
crazy
Half of them say
Patriots
F.
fans.
Goodell.
Yeah. They're going to be so riled up. I think it's going to be a hostile environment.
Of course.
Really going to be tough for Cincy to do anything here.
Yeah, I agree.
I think New England's the pick.
I agree.
I think you're starting all your Patriots.
Yeah.
Gronk, Bennett, Blunt, James White,
Edelman
Edelman,
and Chris Hogan.
Hogan as a flex.
Yep.
I think you got to roll them all out. I think there's going to be points to be scored here.
Yeah.
Despite Cincy having an average to above average defense, I think.
Right. A big
New
letdown
England
last
is
week
New
against Zeke.
England.
That's right.
Yeah, they're my pick.
Okay, perfect. I'm with you on that. I agree. Panthers, who what are they? What's the record now?
They're 1-4.
1-4 for
Terrible.
the former Super Bowl visitors.
They're just as good as my Jets.
That's right. The Jets are better than the Carolina Panthers at this point. They are at the Saints. So you're in the Dome.
Another tough one for them to pull out, I think.
Yes. But let me read you this. I'm not gonna read you anything.
Read me something, because I think I know which way I'm leaning already.
So, do you think that at this point it's desperation mode for the Panthers? At this point, it's 1-4, and if you lose this game, the season's over.
You're not making the playoffs.
I think the Panthers want this more than the Saints. I think it's
Did
just.
they want this last week?
No, they didn't. They didn't.
Why?
They did. This is pivotal.
Aye.
Crucial
Aye.
game for Cameron Newton. He's pissed. He had to miss last game. He comes back with a vengeance. Benjamin pops in 2 touchdowns and 100 yards. Yeah. Has scored in every game that Cameron Nunez played in.
Okay.
Outside of the
good stat.
The Broncos.
I like that.
Right?
Yeah.
Except for the Broncos because they're untouchable.
Uh-huh.
So he gets into the end zone. John Stewart comes back, makes a little noise on the ground. And I think the Panthers should be able to win this game despite all the stats on the Saints in the dome. Blah, 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 blah. Tell me about the Saints. Tell me about the Saints.
Saints. I don't see why they can't put up 30 points against this Carolina team.
And Carolina's going to score 34.
Okay. But last week, I was so shocked to see how Carolina came out against Tampa. Jaquiz just...
Is that Monday Night Syndrome?
Gashing them.
Gashed them.
I
didn't watch it.
It was bad. It was bad. On the opening drive, I think Jaquiz Rogers had like 11 or 12 touches. Because it was literally 8 yards, 8 yards, 8... Just... They could not do anything to stop him. Winston did nothing. It was Jaquiz that destroyed them.
And yet Mike Evans always gets his touchdown.
Mike Evans got his titty, but I don't know. I'm starting New Orleans. I'm confident in everybody. I'm confident in Breeze. I'm confident in Cooks, Snead. Sneaky play.
It's a bounce back, buddy.
Sneaky play.
Yeah.
Might be the best out of the bunch. Michael Thomas.
Michael Thomas for you.
I really think Michael Thomas, and he's another guy, rest of the season, I think the arrow's pointing up. The 2 games before the bye, I believe he approached double-digit targets in both games.
Okay.
The Saints offense, with Breeze and Peyton, they've always wanted to attack the seams.
Sure. With
Jimmy Graham, with Marcus Colston. I think Michael Thomas is that guy for them. I think he has a huge game and rest of the season. This is a guy I would be going out to acquire.
Or Cooks rest of the season, because Cooks is doing the same thing that he did last year. Mm-hmm. It's all or nothing.
Right, and he's either giving you the game week 1 when you have the 90-yard touchdown, then it gave him the
against Shawnee Smith.
I think this
straight dud.
This week will be interesting to see how the targets shake out. But I'm high. I'm very high on Thomas. I'm also very high on Ingram this week, based on how Carolina played against Rodgers last week. That was just abysmal.
Fine.
It was miserable.
Yeah, that was. They're not a good team, but I like them to cover this week, and that's what I'm going to go with. And we disagree. We'll see. We'll see how we shake out.
The home dog.
Record that user record for us. Oh man, this is what everyone wants.
Off a bye, home dog. You're gonna go against it? I don't know. Carolina. I think people are treating Carolina like last year's team. It's time to get over that.
Aren't the Saints still bad at defense though? Isn't that enough?
But they score 80 points at home every week.
Yeah.
Okay, next game we got
Ravens at Giants. The Giants are 3-point favorites against, frankly, a Baltimore defense that's still good.
Very good.
Used to very tough, division opponents.
Uh-huh.
And Giants are favorite.
Giants are favorites, which is a little surprising to me.
Yes.
How they've been playing.
I would have honestly expected this game to be a pick'em.
A pick'em or like a 1-point Giant favorite.
Right. I don't see why. I don't see what would clue anyone in on the Giants being favorite with how bad their offense has been.
I don't know. Matchups. What do you think? Rashad, does he come back? I think he said he's a go for this week.
He's a go for this week.
Rashad Jennings, but it's not a great matchup.
No, it's not.
So
Sterling Shepard's been quiet.
I don't know if you could play him.
What about Sterling? They got to get back to that. That week 1.
It depends what your other options are, but I'm not starting any Giants receivers with any kind of you have to start Odell if you have him.
Yeah.
But I'm not starting Cruz or Shepard if I have him with any kind of confidence.
Okay.
Depends who I have elsewhere, but I don't feel great about either.
I feel the most comfortable with OBJ and Bobby Rainey, and that's it. And everyone else I could see
Bobby Rainey,
big time. I think because Eli, it's become check down Eli now.
Yeah, until something comes of this offense, they're really hard to make out. They're really hard to make out. On the other side, Baltimore,
Steve Smith, out.
Who's the beneficiary?
It's got to be Kamar
Aiken.
Finally.
Sliding into the slot role,
That's right. That's right. Mike Wall's banged up. Dennis Pitta should see an uptick. And you got to love Terrence West in this matchup.
Yeah.
The Giants have, we love that defense early on in the year. They're starting to look a little leaky up front. And I could see 20 carries for him. Eddie Lacy ripped him up.
I think maybe
before he got hurt.
That could be in relation to the offensive struggles. They just can't. They don't score. They don't hold on to the ball.
Right.
They've just been, and then all the pressure is put back on the defense.
Right.
And it's hard to maintain that level of play when you're relied upon. When for years, or recent years at least, it's been the Giants' offense really carrying it for them. So you like Kamar as a flex play this week?
I think as a second flex
back-end
flyer.
Flex.
Yeah, because obviously the rapport is not there this year yet. But
Pitta, solid tight end play.
Yeah, a 10-point tight end play right there could get.
He's not He's like Barnes. He's not getting any red zone looks either.
Right. Okay. Well, that's a nice.
But
point,
he's a safe floor.
Yeah.
I guess.
Right. Yeah, I think you have to like Aiken. I think at this point in the season, you're scrounging the waiver wire to try and fill up your roster because there's so many guys that are either hurt or disappointed.
Okay. What about the running back situation? Are you still feel comfortable with West, or do you fear the Dixon?
Not yet. Not this game.
Not yet.
No, this is going to be a 20-plus carry game for Terrence West for me.
Fair enough. Lower scoring game.
Yeah, could be
under 45.
I would probably say 2017 Giants.
Okay.
And they barely cover.
Yeah. Like a 21-17, 23-20 something.
So do I expect the Giants to win then? God, I don't know.
I don't feel comfortable. I don't feel comfortable taking either of these teams.
No, I don't.
There's another game I was
gun to your head.
Gun to my head, I'll take the underdog in Baltimore with the better record.
I think I'm gonna have to do that too.
Okay.
I'm gonna do that too. I just can't with these Giants anymore.
But not great. Not a great fantasy game, I don't think.
No, it could be a lot of ugliness. Yeah. Yep, no problem there.
Who you got
Eagles favored by 2 points. They're at the Redskins. You know that the Eagles have been playing amazing, but you know that they just lost a tough game to the Lions.
And Washington just beat Baltimore.
That's right.
In kind of a sloppy game.
Yeah, I took them. That felt good. That felt really good.
Yes.
But here's the problem.
What is it?
Jordan Reed, concussion protocol.
Yeah. And he's had concussion problems throughout his career.
He's had concussion problems like Steve
Young. This is his sixth concussion.
Yes.
No.
This guy is about ready to, honestly, I think he needs to hang up the cleats soon because it's getting dangerous for him.
Well,
he's a guaranteed concussion this season.
Okay.
Okay, so it's a very serious issue. I mean, I wouldn't be shocked if this guy developed problems. It's just too many concussions for him.
Sure.
But to keep it to a lighter, happier fantasy sense, he's going to be out. Could miss multiple weeks because you can't just, a guy with this history.
Is that he's definitely out now?
He's just got a protocol on Wednesday.
I don't know.
You get in a concussion protocol that late. You had 6 concussions, it's going to be almost impossible for you to get cleared. Plan for Jordan Reed.
But why did he just come into protocol on Wednesday? Why didn't they know?
Because he might have
Sunday?
I don't know. But this is what
into a
happened.
Street pole? Like what the
could have been? Could have been.
I don't know. Get Schefter on the line or somebody. I don't know.
So on the Washington side,
okay, so we'll wash out Jordan Reed.
Wash him out. And I think we both know who fills in.
Niles Paul.
No.
Vernon Davis.
It's Vernon Davis. It's the tight end.
Really trust Vernon Davis?
No. And I'm not talking about the tight end. I am talking about Jamison Crowder. It's funny. I usually say Jameson when I'm talking about a James. His name is literally Jameson. So Jameson for me is the new target in the middle of the field.
He's the intermediate guy.
That's right. That's right.
Who gets the red zone looks?
That's interesting because now nobody or the running back or Kirk has to run himself. I don't know. No, this is a great point. I really don't know.
Because they got back to give Reed the ball in the red zone last week.
Yeah, Deshaun has not been involved as much as of late, which is disappointing. Yeah. Maybe they tried to get him
last
back
week there were reports of like the wind was ridiculous. There were tornadoes or something. They couldn't throw the ball downfield, which is why it was such a low-scoring game. It was 16-10 game.
Yeah, it was gross.
Yeah, and Deshaun had 3 catches. So they could not get the ball downfield because of the wind.
This is tough though. I mean, it's Philly by 2.
I think Philly bounces back. I still believe that they're a good team.
Right.
Washington, I think, will be without Josh Norman. I think he's.
Oh, that's really.
I believe he's going to be out with an injury. Something wrong with his arm or something.
Okay.
Real quick.
So that's huge.
I'll keep talking. Look it up. But yeah, Philly's a good team. Wentz gets back on track. I think they can run the ball successfully against Washington.
Ryan Matthews for you? Might as well. I still have to play him, so.
I know you have. You probably, if you own him, you're playing him.
You're definitely playing him. Tough.
But I'm not like excited.
No, I know.
I'm not.
And I would say the only other piece of news for this game is the possible emergence of Robert Kelly.
Oh yeah, there's been talk of him getting some carries.
Yeah, it's
I liked at the beginning of the year. I thought he was going to open up as a starter.
I told my users, I don't know. I freaking dropped Tevin Coleman in CBS for Rob Kelly. This is a huge lesson, folks. And it was either Boyd or Coleman. We were like, Boyd had a lot of upside. Coleman, then we know what he is.
Oh God.
And I feel like that might have cost me a championship.
Yeah, that cost you something.
But anyway, now might be Robert Kelly's time to do something special. I wouldn't say this game, but I would say look for that snap count, folks. Look for that snap count to increase.
We'll see what develops.
I think Gruden is losing faith in
something to watch.
In what's his name?
Matt Jones.
Matt Jones. It's just not good.
All right. So for our picks,
Eagles.
Okay.
Next game, the Chiefs against.
This is a game I'm excited for, fantasy-wise.
I need to, I don't know where I'm going to be. I think I'm going to be at a stupid baby shower, to be honest. I need to plant myself in front of this game. I need to watch this.
You need something.
I need to watch. This is huge.
This is a good game.
You just beat your division rival Chiefs.
Yeah.
You're at home in the black hole. And you're facing a team that's, they got embarrassed by the Steelers. There's no doubt about that.
Coming off a bye.
Right. But, I mean, considering how bad the Raiders' defense is, but how well that they've been playing, so to speak, just clutch. I would just say clutch. They've been more clutch than good, I would say.
They've been the opposite of the Chargers.
Correct. They are pulling it. It's big sack Del Rio, just putting them big old meaty things right on the other sideline, just saying, "This is me. This is my blood. I bleed like you." And it's a pick'em. What do you think?
I expect big things from the KC offense coming out of the bye.
Yeah.
I do. I like.
Pick the game for me first, and we'll talk about fantasy. I need to know.
Goodness.
I need to know.
It's a tough one. Raiders at home. They've been great all year.
It's Raiders on principle for me. It's Raiders on principle for me. It's I'm fairly confident. I'm not gonna put a star on it. But can you imagine if this game was
KC coming off the bye? You don't think they fixed that offense? The passing attack?
I think that the Raiders can outscore them. That's what I'm anticipating. 27-24. 35-31. That's what I'm anticipating.
All right, I'll back you on the Raiders at home.
I appreciate that.
Underdogs.
I appreciate
it. Doesn't make sense that they're not favored here either.
It is weird. It makes it a little easier to pick them. If it's 3 points, because I'll be honest with you folks, I told everyone I was going to pick the Raiders last week. Yeah. I picked the Chargers. Because I had a feeling that exactly what was going to happen was the Chargers would keep it close, they'd do something stupid, and then win that close
Chargers
game.
have been a very good bet all year.
Yeah.
All year.
So
people think they're bad, but they're actually good.
Correct.
Okay, so we'll both go Oakland.
So you talk Chiefs side of the ball.
It's a fishy line.
It is.
Okay, but I'll talk Chiefs. Alex
I'll
Smith,
talk Raiders.
I think, is a great streamer. He could give you a top 10 week.
For sure.
Macklin, I think, can come back and have a very big game here.
Kelsey could get in the end zone.
Kelsey could get in the. I think a lot.
Ware could get in the end zone.
Ware could get in the end zone. He's still definitely a play.
Yeah.
On the other side.
Well, tell me this, because I think Alex Smith is guaranteed to have 2 touchdowns this game through the air. Period.
I would hope so for him.
So are you thinking 1 to Mac and 1 to Kels?
Yeah, that would be okay with me.
Fine.
That sounds about right.
He's done that, I think, the last 6 games against the Raiders.
But just yardage wise,
touchdowns.
I think the yards are there.
Okay, you see the 200-300
Even if you're not getting the touchdown, I can see.
Sure.
And I think I trust Andy Reid because the passing attack for them has been below expectations. I think so far. I trust Andy Reid.
Yeah.
As an offensive guy to go into the bye, fix things. The Chiefs have been a team that have been very good on offense, consistently good on offense, all the while with Andy Reid.
Yes.
You know?
Yeah, no, I think it's a guarantee for Alex Smith. 300 yards, 2 touchdowns. Great
he's a great player this week.
Derek Carr, other side ball, you like him to continue. He's been...
Of course.
Is he a must-start for you at this point, or is he still the streamer with the good matchups?
No, if I have him as my quarterback on my team, until he falters for at least a game or 2 in a row, I don't think I can question it.
Okay.
They're moving the ball against everybody.
Yeah.
There's no reason. He's got 2 great receivers.
Right.
A productive running game.
That's right.
And he's been great. I don't think how many interceptions? I think he only has. I don't know how many interceptions he has, but he has not been turning it over at all.
That's actually good. That's interesting right there. Because he hasn't been sacked and he hasn't been turning the ball.
Right. So a line that keeps you upright. 2 great receiving options.
And I want to stay on
a decent running game.
And I want to stay on that.
Because you think Cooper is about to take back the reins.
This guy should have had 4 touchdowns last week. But he doesn't. He had 2 where he couldn't get his feet in, and he had 1 where he was pushed out, and then they said that he didn't reset his feet.
Crabtree gets his feet in. Every time.
What I'm saying is Cooper finished with, what was it, number 3 receiver last week?
He had a big game. He was like 6 for 130, something like that.
Yeah, 6 for 138.
Okay.
And a long 64-yard touchdown that I saw on Snapchat.
Carr.
He's got 11 touchdowns. He threw an interception last week.
How many on the year?
He's got 2 on the year.
2 on the year.
11 to 2 ratio.
For the amount of attempts that he has, I think it's fantastic.
His yardage was 319, 299, 249, 199, but he had 4 touchdowns that week. And then 317 last week with 2 touchdowns.
All right.
It's been amazing.
Yeah.
He's only been sacked 5 times this year, and 3 of those came last game. 2 of them off Joey Big Bad Boza. Honey, let me grab you closer. So, yeah, Derek Carr, I think...
All right, so give me your argument for Cooper.
My argument for Cooper is exactly what happened last week. The involvement. He's the better receiver. That's it. He's the better receiver.
On what grounds?
On the grounds that he's more physically gifted, he's bigger, faster, stronger, does more steroids,
or stronger.
Yes, he is. Yes, he can bench more 225 pounds than Michael Crabtree. I've seen it side by side. And rest of the season.
Why don't they go to him
I said
in the
last
red
week.
zone?
Last week.
Right.
Rest of the season. They did, but you're not seeing it on the stat sheet yet because it's getting called back. It's bullshit.
All right. I still like Crabtree.
Well, rest of the season for me, Amari Cooper. Your buy low opportunity window is gone, by the way. You should have done that last week.
Are you selling Crabtree then?
No. He'll still get in the end zone. I got no issues. Derek Carr's going to throw for 50 touchdowns, so I got no issues there.
All right. Take me to the next game.
Well, before that, what do you this Richard DeAndre Washington?
Oh yeah, that is an interesting thing.
That really hurt.
I do want to bring that up.
I leveraged my entire future on DeAndre Washington, and they just split touches, and Richard was better.
Well, what's Murray's status this week?
Has not practiced all week. Most likely to be out again. Turf toe lingers, folks.
Okay. So for me, I think it could it could go either way. I mean, if they're splitting touches again, there's no reason why Washington
They're
can't
the
be the
same
better back.
player.
They're the same player, right?
That's the problem, Eric. Because when they were on the 1 yard line, and I was just, for whatever reason, I'm like, please, Washington. Yeah. No, it's Jamize Olawale, blah, 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 blah. Yeah. So it hurts. So they're the same player. Actually, I have 2 shares of Richard. I got him for dirt cheap. Nobody picked him up.
Nobody did.
They were all on Washington, and then he did what he did, and then nobody still picked him up. I got him for like $1. I said, okay. But what am I doing this week? What's your advice? I'm a Richard owner and I'm a Washington owner. Who am I putting in the lineup this week?
I'm a Richard owner and a Washington owner. My team with Richard is terrible. Okay. So I'm starting him.
Okay.
As like
Hail Mary play.
He's my number 1 flex.
Okay.
In Hank.
Okay.
In Mansion, where I'm good,
yeah,
I have Washington. I am not playing him this week.
Or Richard?
Well, I only have Washington.
Oh.
So I'm not playing Washington.
I want to know which one you would play.
Ooh.
If you had both, like I do.
I mean, Richard.
Really?
Because he had a better way. I mean, there's no reason.
Oh, crap.
But it's a coin. You could flip a coin, and I wouldn't be upset with how you went. There's really not much for me to separate them, as you said.
It's a coin flip.
So what do you do? We're not there at practice. I wish I was.
I know.
But I can only do so much from Astoria, Queens.
Fine. Flip a coin on Sunday morning and we'll find out. We're going Raiders. If you guys have both, flip a coin because honestly, it could go either way. Neither of them will probably get in the end zone. That's for damn sure. Cowboys at the Packers. Packers are favored by 4. Cowboys have continued to play remarkably. I cannot believe I don't know why I picked the Bengals last week. I thought there was enough evidence on the table to say that the Cowboys
did I pick the Bengals?
Are legit.
Did. Yeah. Well, they just play. I mean, Zeke and the offensive line.
Oh my God.
They're back to what they were doing 2 years ago when they had DeMarco Murray. They are that productive on the ground again.
Well said.
And just the fact that Dak hasn't turned the ball over right there, you don't really even need that much production out of him as long as he can keep it safe, move the chains every once in a while, and that's what he's doing. And the defense is playing bend but not break, I think.
What do you think, though, about the fact that Zeke faces one of the most dominant and difficult defensive
I don't think Green Bay has faced a team with a premier rusher like Zeke, with the top offensive line that Dallas has. I think it causes them problems.
Okay. I could absolutely see Dallas covering here. I don't see why they can't stay in this game.
Yeah, I'm happy with taking them.
Okay.
Even if they lose by a field goal, you're good here.
And I don't think there's much to talk about. Cobb had a nice game, thank goodness for you.
Receiving wise, yeah. Cobb, are you excited about Cobb yet?
No.
Is the arrow going up? You still hate him?
No, you like him. I mean, it's a nice get. Thank God.
You want to see him get in the end zone.
I want to see him. I want to see another game like that.
When the Packers were flying high,
he had 10
he was a red zone guy.
Correct. Yeah. Absolutely correct. That's what made
they were getting the ball in the red zone, close to the goal line. But I'm pretty down on the whole Green Bay offense. They still don't.
Should have ripped the Giants up last week.
Yeah.
Should have ripped their asses
up. I think
up.
people are still holding on to the name brand.
Yeah.
With Rodgers, Jordy, Cobb, Lacey.
Right.
But until I see a real explosion from them, I'm not all that excited.
That's fine. And that's a good point. Jordy, despite the touchdowns, hasn't had the big game. He's basically Odell, except with a couple more touchdowns. We're waiting for that huge post, that 70-yard touchdown.
The over the top, the back shoulders aren't there yet.
Yes. Oh my God, they look out of sync still. Yeah.
Okay, so let's talk. I think Randall Cobb still might be sneaky the best wide receiver play. I think Dallas has done a good job limiting the boundary receivers. They did a good job on AJ Green last week. Am I wrong on that?
Yeah, I mean, the only argument I see there is maybe if these guys are picking in DFS and Cobb's significantly cheaper than Jordy, but I'm still taking Jordy for sure. On the end zone.
Yes. But I think Devontae Adams, where do you see him? a back end flex.
Yeah, I think a second flex. It depends on your team, but like he's shown that he can be useful now.
But
this is where he was comfortable.
He played all right last
He did.
Yeah.
He did. This is where he's comfortable.
As long as the guys ahead of him are healthy,
exactly.
I think he's okay.
Exactly.
Richard Rodgers is a popular
play
this week because Dallas has been not so great against the tight end. Jared Cook's still out. I think with Rodgers, you're still praying for a touchdown.
Yeah, if he didn't get in the end zone, he's useless, and I don't think you should be relying on guys to get in the end zone.
On the Dallas side, obviously you're playing Zeke Elliott.
Right.
Despite Green Bay being great against the run.
Yeah. Dez misses another game?
Dez has been practicing.
Oh, wow.
Today and yesterday.
Really? In full or limited?
I'm not positive, but I remember reading that he's been running his favorite routes and says he feels great.
Okay.
I wouldn't be surprised if he's out there for less than 100% of the snaps, maybe on a semi-limited basis.
Yeah, I mean, let's just say this. If he plays, just play him.
Yeah, I think you're playing.
You have to.
You've been waiting for a long time to get him back in.
If he's on the field, just go for it.
Dak as a streamer against the Green Bay not so great pass defense.
Yeah, you can see 200 yards, 2 touchdowns, which doesn't kill you. It's probably around 16 points.
I don't know.
Yeah, you could see one going to Cole, one going to Bryce Butler.
I could see this game playing out similar to how last week played out with the Giants. Just a kind of slower pace.
Sure.
Lacey gets 20 touches.
Well, he's hurt.
But he's going to play. Starks might not.
Well, he's definitely not playing.
Definitely not.
He's just too hurt.
So
he blew his chance. So Lacey is rapidly doing everything he can to try and get healthy right now. Yeah, I can see a Lacey plunge.
Okay. More touches for Cobb if Lacey's limited.
Absolutely.
They haven't been afraid to give it to Cobb out of the
100%
backfield.
correct.
Short passes. All right, so who's your pick?
My pick is the boys. I think the boys can stay in this.
They haven't let us down all year. Gotta stay with them, right?
This is America's game of the week. 425.
We're going Dallas.
I'm going Dallas. I'm not going to
as the dog.
Ooh,
fair enough.
This is crazy. All right, we got a couple more games left, folks. Falcons, Seahawks. We'll try and run through these a little quick. We'll get you out of here. Falcons are at the Seahawks, and they are 6-point dogs. And, oh my God.
I love my Seahawks here. Russell Wilson.
Wow.
Doug Baldwin. Kristen Michael.
Off the bye.
Jimmy Graham.
Yeah.
Not so hot on Tyler Lockett.
No.
But those 4, for sure, off the bye, at home. Something still tells me Atlanta's a fraud. I don't know why. I know they beat Denver.
Yeah. That offense is just clicking.
But I'm waiting for the bust week, and I think this
could be a letdown spot for them, yeah. I think that for me is what you're saying is if there was ever an argument for the bye, the T coming off bye, it's this.
Because not only does Seattle come back healthy, okay?
Right.
Atlanta has been still bad on defense. They are letting up a ton of yards.
Yeah.
Seattle, number 1 against the pass.
Wow, good stat.
I believe they're allowing less than 200 yards a game through the air.
That's a nice stat.
This is the real show-me game for Atlanta to me, I think. So I'm gonna be down on their guys. Matt Ryan, I think if you have him, it's a tough situation. If you can stream, I think I'd play Alex Smith over him this week.
I don't think that's a bad play because I think even if Matt goes off for a little bit more,
if you have the roster flexibility,
Smith is not going to kill you. That's a very good point.
Julio, if you have him, you're playing him.
Yeah, although it could be like last week. Saw a lot of Akeem and he was kept out of the
But you know what? What gives me hope for Julio is that Brandon Marshall was shadowed by Sherman all week, and he had a good game.
He did
against him,
despite the picks.
So I think Julio can give you that.
Okay.
Other pass catchers for Atlanta, I'm out on.
Julio while he's better than Green though, he's a guy that the Falcons seem to function without if it's not there.
Mm-hmm.
And that bothers me about Green and Julio. Is that if it's not there, they're not going to force it.
Right.
Whereas Marshall and Brown,
they're going to them no matter what.
It doesn't matter. So that's the slight difference for me. But yeah, obviously you're playing Julio. Yeah. There's no doubt about that. But yeah, that's a great point right there. Smith over Ryan. And I think we'll agree Seahawks, Wilson is a huge game. Let's just...
Yes.
Graham stays hot.
I think Baldwin's a great play.
Yeah, you're playing all your Seahawks skill players for sure.
So, in that sense, I'm leaning Seattle to win by a touchdown.
Yep, I'm fine with that.
Okay.
Fine with that. Okay, Colts, Sunday night game. Sunday night game at the Texans, and the Texans are favored by 3.
Right. Do you believe it? Texans have been really bad.
Texans have been such a disappointment. But I will just say that their defense is okay, and the Colts defense is not
okay
at all. And I really think I look for a big game from Fuller. I would hope to God that they try and resurrect DeAndre's confidence. Even though he's going to be seen by Vontae. Sure. Yeah. Which is kind of what makes me think that Fuller's the one who pops off for a long touchdown. And this is a Lamar Miller game.
Gotta be, right.
And I think you have to go with the Texans here. That's it.
At home, they're pretty desperate.
They are.
I think, to win this one.
Yeah.
I like them.
Let's do that. Let's do Texans. We'll leave it at that.
Yeah. And on the Colts side, you're starting the usual suspects.
Hilton's unbelievable. I hate his name.
Double-digit targets in every game.
I hate his name, but listen, without Moncrief, he's a stud.
Yeah.
That's it.
Done.
He's a stud. You play Gore, and that's pretty much it, right?
And that's it. I think Dorsett is a desperation flex.
Desperation play. He's not lived up to what we thought. He's
just not getting the looks.
No, he's not. He's not Moncrief. No. Okay, Texans.
Right, so
final game.
Yes.
Jets, Cardinals. Cardinals favored by 7.5.
Which is not enough. Not enough here. Carson Palmer coming back from his concussion.
Yeah.
Arizona with the extra rest.
Yeah.
Jets crushed in Pittsburgh. Another tough road game, traveling cross country. They're gonna have Peterson on Marshall all day. They'll still feed him the ball, but
so you like the Jets?
No, I don't like the Jets.
Oh, they're going to the... Oh, man, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, boy. Oh, boy. Yeah, I think this is
Cardinals, another desperate team.
Yeah.
They need a win.
I really hope...
Again, to reassert themselves.
Yeah.
This is a game they got to win.
As a non-DJ owner, I hope he stays out of the end zone. But I could certainly see him plowing one in. That was very rude. I think Matt Forte struggles this game.
Forte's been struggling for a few weeks in a row.
I wouldn't
be surprised if Powell outscores him again.
I think your sell high opportunity, folks, is long.
Jets playing from behind. Powell's been the pass catching back.
That's right.
I think he has 6 receptions in back-to-back games now.
That's a nice stat.
And just the eye test, he just looks like he has so much more burst and explosiveness than Forte.
Right.
Yeah. So it's really hard to get behind Forte unless the Jets are favored.
Right.
You know.
Decker goes on IR this week. 6 to 8 week recovery for a surgery.
Surprising. Everybody thought Anunua would be that much better once Decker is out, but he's actually been statistically worse.
He has
without Decker.
This could be a Devontae Adams syndrome where a guy just is not comfortable in the number 2 role.
Yeah.
The spotlight's too high. I don't know.
He's a young guy. It's only his second year.
Yeah.
I like him as a player for the Jets going forward. Fantasy wise, I wouldn't get too excited though.
But this happened twice with us now. We got very excited about Anunua and Dorsett.
Right.
It's tough.
Yeah, it's tough.
It's very tough.
But Cardinals, we said earlier, John Brown's to play this week because on the first drive he's going to score a 70-yard touchdown. Fitzgerald will probably give you 8 for 100, maybe another touchdown.
Oh boy. Yeah.
Michael Floyd, if he doesn't bounce back here,
cutting bait.
I mean, I'm already worried.
Yeah.
But yeah, if he doesn't give you a game here against the Jets, you've got serious problems. David Johnson, I would have no concern about, obviously. Bell had a great game against the Jets. And on the Jets side, you're starting Brandon Marshall because they're going to be playing from behind.
Of course.
You're starting Powell. You're shaky on Forte.
Yeah.
And that's about it.
I like a lot.
Starting our Arizona defense too, right?
You certainly are.
Okay.
With confidence, which I have.
And Arizona's the pick, 7.5.
Arizona's the
At
pick.
home, extra rest. Jets suck.
Jets suck. Jets suck.
That's the story.
Yeah, I don't expect them to save their season this week, unfortunately.
No, it's not happening until next year.
And I don't think I expect the Giants to save their season this week either.
No, not looking good for New York.
Jesus. Go Rangers, right? Go Rangers and go Cubs. My goodness.
Yeah.
All right, folks. That is.
Is that it? Is that it?
That's not working.
Do you have volume?
It's not.
Yeah.
Oh,
You gotta put the volume up.
This is why I don't do this normally. All right. Yeah, we'll check in our user records. Another week to come.
Until next week. 3 and out.
3 and out.
We're out.
We out.
What is playing behind it?